Yes, we're live. Live. Hello, everyone! Welcome to another edition of The End of the Night. I am here with my lovely and talented co-host, Mr. Joe Ridgely.
Well, thank you, sir. Mr. Madison, how you doing?
I'm doing very, very well, thank you. And of course, as all episodes of The End of the Night, this lovely episode is sponsored by the extraordinary... What happened?
You said you think I'd be prepared.
Well, you would think so, but yeah. No, actually, you wouldn't. You wouldn't think so. This episode, like all episodes of The End of the Night, is sponsored by the grand poobah of all indie film release companies, Film Hub. If you're an independent filmmaker looking to get your film out on platforms and to have an honest and wonderful release company, Film Hub is the place to be.
And of course, if people always ask us wow, I'm just getting all over the place tonight. I don't know. All the people in the green room have me nervous, I think. That's the thing. So I'm going to start sweating a little. And people ask us what program we use to stream our awesome show here. That would be StreamYard. If you'd like your streams to look as professional as ours, please give them a look.
Absolutely, and that's the problem when you have a green room filled of beautiful people. You get all nervous.
Case of the vapors.
You get this, yes. Scott, Meanie, good evening. I hope you are well. Square Table Degenerates podcast. What's up, brother? I hope you are well. Tim, happy Sunday. I hope you had a great weekend. Big Ed. Love you, brother. Everything you're doing with your Beast Comes Out at Midnight film looks wonderful. It's going to be a contemporary American Werewolf in London. I can't wait to see it. Kari, I hope you're well and one of the greatest rock and roll artists ever, man. If you get a chance, check out Kari Werner's CDs. She's just a fantastic rock and roll star, actually. Well, he only says hello to you, so I'm not going to even respond because apparently I don't count.
CJ is awesome. Thank you for all the support.
Only you and Scott, apparently.
Square Table Degenerates podcast. Love StreamYard, as do I. Been with them for quite some time now. They are terrific.
And that's right, Mr. Chef. Drew Carey does rock. And everybody, people who know me know that I am an enormous New York Knicks fan. So for the first time since, I've actually had hair on my chest, probably. The Knicks are going. It was probably 2 weeks ago. The Knicks are going to the playoffs. So I'm so excited. May 22nd is our big first playoff game. Thank you so much, brother. High praise from Mr. Hush himself. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, you made me fan art. I was just teasing, CJ. I love you. I'm just kidding. What's up, Ken? I hope you're well, brother. I have some big Roku news. My film, Wit's End, was just picked up by the Roku channel and is going to be on one of those, they have their own thing that kind of looks like it has their own menu. And
right, it's live streams and...
Yeah, and it's literally looks like a DirecTV or your cable company, and they have all their own channels. And they just picked up Scott and I's and Brian O'Halloran's film Wit's End, So if you have Roku and you're on a Roku channel, keep an eye out to watch Wit's End on the Roku channel. It's pretty awesome. And
You know when it's releasing?
it's on there right now where you could watch it, where you could watch it with commercials. And then it's going to be on one of their channels in the coming days where you could just watch it. And we will promote it. Oh, thank you, Ken. Roku does rock. So, yeah, that's exciting. And
Well, what he's referring to is the Roku Rocks Facebook page.
no, I know.
Well, I'm telling everybody else with over 16,000
1,000 people. Yes. Yep. Relax.
Awesome.
Everything's cool. Thank you, Carrie. So I got something in the mail the other day, and I'm terrible at remembering things, but it was scents, tarts that I ordered from Joe Ridgely's beautiful wife and beautiful daughter. Have a startup company, and I'm not just saying this because it's Joe's wife and daughter. I'm saying this because I was blown away with how wonderfully fantastic they were. I put 2 little blocks into the board. We have a light burner. I don't know, like a Sensi light burner. And the whole entire house was engulfed in this wonderful fragrance. And it's unlike other ones where the wax melts are just wax melts. These actually had like pieces of lavender in the plant or whatever the scent was. And that's what made the difference in making the entire household smell fantastic. Joe, tell the fine people out there where they could get these wax melts, because they really are. If you buy these and you don't like them, I will send you an autographed copy of Middle Village or Mr. Hush. If you buy these and honestly don't think they're a great tart or scent, because they're just that great.
Thank you very much. Yes, my wife and daughter, their business is called Hearts of the Mystic Folk. And everything is all natural. So I really do appreciate you talking about that. They could be found on Facebook right now, Instagram, and there's another one, and I don't remember, and my wife's going to shoot me. So
another thing I wanted to bring up. This was actually big news. It was all over Variety and Hollywood Variety. Our wonderful sponsor, Film Hub, signed an enormous deal with Roku to furnish Roku with a lot of Film Hub films. So, another reason why our independent filmmaker friends out there who are watching this tonight seriously have to consider Film Hub when they are shopping their films around. At the very least, give it a look, because they do some fantastic stuff up there. And as far as being a sponsor, they actually sponsor the show. We actually, it's something good. I'm going to bite my tongue now. I think Joe knows what I'm talking about. Moving right along. It's funny, we both needed to take a drink right there.
yeah.
So, with that being said, tonight's show is dedicated to a film called Darkness Waits that I had the complete honor and privilege to being a very, very small part of. But I am extremely honored to have worked with the people who are on the show tonight. I consider them all dear friends. Even Uncle Scott was in this film, Darkness Waits. And I'm going to bring out the producer and the director and a bunch of the stars all tonight. We're just going to have a good time reminiscing about a great film. You'll learn all about the filmmaking process, the things we did along the way. You'll learn where you could watch the film, but it's just a great movie. With that being said, is the ever-loving Grunkle Scott available?
I believe he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, a living legend, Grunkle Scott Chiaffo.
Hey,
How are you, Grunkle Scott?
Sorry.
what's going on, gentlemen?
Wow, that was exciting.
Well, I jumped the gun, and I'm telling you, it's got me flabbergasted. All these people on here at the same time tonight.
You put me in the corner. You can't put baby in the corner. You put baby in the corner, and that logo pops up, and I feel privileged to have the logo pop up on my screen, my portion of the screen.
Then I'm going to put the logo up on your screen.
Dang! Now we're rocking.
There you go. There you go.
Woohoo!
Oh, Scott Meany says you're looking good, Scott.
Oh, and Scott, thank you. Scott, two Scots. Two Scots are better than one Scott. Thank you, sir. I love that.
If we put a tissue on you guys, do you become Scott Tissue?
Zing!
But speaking of Scott Meany, can't wait for his future puppet show that's coming out. We're going to be affiliated with that, so more to come on that.
That guy's a madman. Great Scots.
Great Scots. Hey. Great Scots think alike.
Mayor Scott House. Oh, CJ Robles is a beautiful human being, and he's shouting out to the film because I play Mayor Scruggs in Darkness Waits. Can you see my poster on my? There's Darkness Waits. Well,
hey, where is it?
There you go.
No, wait a minute. So now I feel obligated. Can you see my poster?
Oh, you got it up and nice and framed. Wow, awesome.
Yeah, that's been there for almost a year now, I think.
Very nice.
I have a sad story about my Darkness Waits poster.
Oh no, it didn't get.
I had Libby and Matt provided me with the same beautiful poster you guys had signed, and I had it professionally framed and hung it up here in my office. And I got a cat, and the stupid cat jumped up onto my file cabinets where my poster was hanging on the wall. And the cat tail knocked my freaking poster off the wall, broke the glass that it was in, and the grass cut my poster. So I'm heartbroken.
Wow.
Now that you guys mentioned signatures, I gotta ask Matt and Libby why that wasn't signed.
I guess they just don't like you all that much, Joe. That could probably be it.
I mean, I wasn't going to sell it on eBay or anything, I swear.
Well, that's what really happened with mine. You're just believing the whole cat story. No, it actually got damaged. All right.
Oh my God.
Without further ado, let's bring up the lovely and talented production team duo, producer and director duo of Matt Stahley and Libby McDermott, ladies and gentlemen. There they are!
Hello!
What a good man. He gives Libby first billing. What a great guy. Libby and Matt.
Libmatic.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
She wanted me to reverse it because of the way we were sitting, but I was like, nah.
But he told me no.
Well, you know, he could easily pass for Libby, and you could easily pass for Matt.
Hey,
Libby
Scott.
and Matt with three... is that penises?
What? Ah, those are hearts.
Are those hearts?
Yes.
Penises to me.
Pretty sure those are hearts.
Penises.
I don't know. They kind of look like penises to me.
Or less than 3.
Very
What
pointy.
the hell? What the hell do I know?
In cold water.
They're showers, they're growers, not showers.
Isn't it a Seinfeld thing?
Yeah.
It was cold out there. So Libby and Matt, first off,
Thank you guys so much for doing this.
well, I'm sorry.
I said thank you guys so much for doing this. This is so much fun to have you all.
What are you thanking them for? I'm the guy who did this.
I'm thanking both of you. It takes
No,
a
it
team.
just doesn't. No, I don't believe it. I'm leaving.
David,
Libby, tell everybody where they can find before we start this, because the most important thing is to get people to watch our wonderful motion picture and tell people where they can find Darkness Waits.
Tubi.
Tubi as in Tubi.
Yes, to be or not to be. Yes, Tubi. No, it is on several platforms like Amazon, Roku. We get on Roku. And we have Dead Woman's Hollow too, and they're both. We've got them both with Film Hub, thankfully. So they are just now like getting picked up and spun out, and there's a lot of platforms out there that are kind of starting up, in different countries and everything. So Dead Woman's Hollow's getting picked up on things in Canada.
Yeah, Tubi, Plex, Amazon Prime, Binge Horror, Xumo or Zuomo.
Zumo, yeah, XUMO, yeah.
We did get picked up by the Roku channel, but it's not on there yet. So that'll be happening however long that takes.
And we've never done this before, so we don't know how long it'll take for things to happen.
And
both movies that are being picked up on all these?
Dead Woman's Hollow is on Tubi, Plex, Amazon Prime, Vuzel, which is a streaming network, Vimeo, just the major ones for now. Then there are some other channels or companies that have like 20 different channels, and I have not been able to find out exactly what channel it's on, if they've even started playing it yet.
The streaming channels that are grabbing both, are they in any way bundling them or letting it know, like, even if it was like, if you like this, you'll like this?
Yeah, algorithm wise, definitely. Like, we see that.
At least in searches,
yeah,
they'll both pop up, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I put all my films on Film Hub because actually I've had nothing but unbelievable response with them. Just a great company. And I would suggest everybody who's looking to watch Darkness Waits, look for it on Tubi, because Tubi is probably the fairest when it comes to paying independent filmmakers. It's just remarkable what Tubi's doing as far as a platform for films to be seen on the AVOD market, meaning that there's advertisements every 20 minutes, but those advertisements are what are paying the filmmakers. And if you want to see the film in its entirety without it being edited, Tubi's also fantastic.
Now the discs are available only directly from you guys, or are the discs also at Amazon? The discs are directly
from us, and we have a website, limaticfilms.com, if you want to purchase one of those.
Yeah, the package
is a button and everything.
All right, so let's go back to the beginning, the very first film. Tell us.
Whoa.
What? Yeah, well, you
I
guys.
Was going back in time.
What?
Let's go back in time.
Go back in time. What was the impetus for you to make the film?
Okay.
Well, honestly, it was a dream that I wanted to do. I wanted to make a movie. My friends around Matt and his friends were making movies around him. I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. I was working as an actress, a model, photography assistant, just any kind of production work that I could get anywhere I was at. And a waitress, hustling. And met Matt, and him and his friends were making movies. And as soon as I saw some of the stuff that him and his friends were doing, I was like, wow, they know how to do it. And then they let me do stuff in their movies. And then, they gave me an opportunity, basically. The writer, John Taylor, he directed a couple of movies that I was in with Matt before. And we had a great relationship, working relationship. Initially, I just wanted to work with Matt, but then we ended up falling in love, and all that good stuff, and making movies and starting companies together. And they gave me an opportunity. I wanted to do it. John wrote this script that I attached myself to, Dead Woman's Hollow. There were things in that script that I needed to work out for myself in life, and it just helped me. It just helped me learn how to live. Just trying to make it, scouting for the locations and finding the places and finding the people in my life that I brought around me to bring these characters to life. They end up being in my life, And then we spent many years making that movie. I thought I could get that one done in 2 weeks. It took me 3 years. I wanted to get it done in 2 weeks, absolutely, but it didn't get done. And it wasn't done until it was done. And then after that, it was taking that one to film festivals and trying to get distribution, and that took years. Mm-hmm. And then we did have a script that we were all looking at. And for Darkness Waits, it wasn't called that then. It was called It's Happening Again. And we started pre-production on that for a few years while we were doing distribution with Dead Woman's Hollow. And then we finally got Darkness Waits going.
That's awesome. Dead Woman's Hollow is actually it's a taut thriller, and it's very well done, and I could see why you went to do Darkness Waits, because you could continue with a wonderful storyline, a great atmospheric film that you made originally. So Dead Woman's Hollow's in the can. People will go out to see it, and you're like, hey, let's convene and do Darkness Waits. And why in the world did you get me involved? It's a good question.
Well, actually, we have to give you credit for getting the distribution for Dead Woman's Hollow.
Yeah.
You introduced us to Elsie at Sci-Fi ValleyCon,
Mm-hmm.
and she basically gave the Rob from Wild Eye Releasing. He was a big sponsor of her Macabre Fair in Long Island, and he basically gave us the little distribution deal, which
it was huge for me.
Yeah.
A first-time filmmaker. And maybe I should also say this too, because I don't always like to talk about how much money we had to make a movie, because it was virtually nothing. We just had a couple of $1,000s, and it was given to me by friends and family and everybody that loved me and everybody that believed in me, and everybody that worked on my movies did it from their heart, and it was their dream. It was, and we were just all doing it together. So.
Well, a lot of people approach making independent films that way, and sadly, that approach doesn't always work. The only reason it worked is because you're such a competent director and competent filmmaker. And when you have a vision that's able to encompass all these people and bring them together and make one cohesive film, is what makes you a good filmmaker. And that's why your work is great. So I remember you, we were friends well before we made Darkness Waits, and you were calling me and you were saying,
Help me.
what are your thoughts about, certain things? And I said to you, I don't know if you remember this, I said, why don't you give Conrad Brooks a call? Am I remembering that incorrectly?
I was more scared. I think we were having a conversation, and I was like, I don't think that he would work for him. I have a hard time thinking I am who I am, and I'm like, I just don't think I'm good enough.
But here's the beautiful thing.
And you're like,
I remember I said, it's a films are big parties. And when you invite somebody to a party, 9 out of 10 times they want to be involved. And I think, and what was wonderful about that is that after you reached out to Conrad, a legend from one of the most iconic, Ed Wood, though a lot of people look at him with kind of a crooked eye, he's still an iconic name in filmmaking. And Conrad was right there with Ed Wood while he made all of those original Ed Wood movies. And the very fact that you reached out to Conrad, who was very, very old and very, very frail at the time, and you talked him into being in Darkness Waits. There is Libby and Wayland and the legendary Conrad Brooks in his last cinematic performance. And Libby, you got Conrad Brooks to be in your movie. That's something that you should be very, very proud of.
I'm extremely proud of it. Extremely proud. It was such a wonderful night. And you were right. Actors love to act. I was scared because, I knew he was hurt and I knew it was bad. but he wanted to do it so bad. And we gave him that, he gave us that, and he had so much fun. So much fun.
And no matter what anybody ever says or does, Conrad Brooks' last movie and his last performance was because of you, and that's something awesome.
And it was safe too. We were all safe with him,
Yeah, he was an icon and a legend, and that could never be taken away from Darkness Waits or from Conrad. Joe, we have so many people in the green room. I could sit here and talk to Matt and Libby all night like a moron. But let's just surprise me. Pop somebody up. Susie!
Yeah.
How are you, sweetheart? I haven't seen you in a long time.
I'm real good, thanks.
Awesome.
So
Matt didn't even know.
he didn't? No, I'm not.
I'm sorry.
For those of you who don't know, Susie is the lovely sister-in-law of Libby and Matt's sister, and just a wonderful person.
Do everything.
I love you guys.
She's always in our movies.
I'm what?
And you're always in our movies.
Yep, just don't blink. No, I'm just excited that Libby asked me to come on. I watch you guys all the time, and I knew they were here tonight, and I've been waiting for it all weekend.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching us. You're the one, huh?
You're the one.
All right, so I had to do that because I know I was going to take everybody off guard. So let eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's catch Jim by the toe.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy, boys and girls.
Ladies and gentlemen, a horror icon, Mr. Jim Krut. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Wonderful. It's a pleasure and a delight to be here and to see you all.
Well, thank you very much. Well, let me ask you, Jim. First off, even though I love Uncle Scott, he's literally like and I won't even say literally. He is my brother. I would take a bullet for that guy. He's one of my dearest friends.
You may have.
He's. I probably will. And with that being said, I think you stole the movie, Jim. Is that a fair assessment, Scott? Wasn't Jim just like amazing in that movie?
Oh my gosh, I missed what you said. Amazing, and that's just not lip service. If you have never had the opportunity to see Jim outside the realm of horror, he's very funny, very genuine. It's effortless. I was blown away. I genuinely was blown away. There he is.
You're a beautiful man, Scott. Thank you, brother.
Well, your chops are very diverse and dynamic and run deep. People may not know that, but one good sitting through Darkness Waits, and they'll have a whole other take on Jim Krut.
What I loved about Jim's performance in that movie is that he brought a very subtle gravitas to it, and he was also had a very subtle, like, dry wit to him that made the flow of what is really kind of a dark David Lynch-esque horror film have some moments of levity that was just really awesome. Jim, tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the film.
Libby asked me to be in the film, and I said, "Hey." Well, the amazing thing is, it sort of came in pieces, and so you had to approach each scene as simply as a separate piece. There might not be any more of me, and wait a minute, we got something else down the road here for you too. It was a very interesting way to direct a film and kind of leak out, if you would. You're going to be around next week because we got about 3 days of shooting we need you for. Okay. I think we could do that. Yeah, we'll work that in. Sure. Yeah, but no, it was a very strange and beautiful the way it came together. And I don't think I'd ever worked on a film quite like that. But it does something in terms of, if this is my minute, I'm going to make it a good minute.
That's for sure. And you know what? I think Libby and Matt, when I was on working with them, they have such an infectious joy about filmmaking that it makes you want to like really do your best for them, because they really, really are excited about the process. They love the genre, and their work is just so good that you are excited to be in the project with them. That's the way I felt about it.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Jim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jim, I would just be like, Jim, can anything you can give me this fall, anything you can give me this summer, because we started in 15 and we ended with you in 19. Even after the premiere, I came back because I had an idea that I had for 6 months, and I wouldn't tell anybody about it because I was like, no, we're supposed to be done. We're supposed to be done. But even after the premiere, and I kept running into you, and finally I just was like, Jim, I have one more idea.
Just a little scene up there where, the secret base is that the government won't mind if we're up there, shooting. Shooting? Yeah, near the secret base that we don't talk about.
She dragged me up there too, Jim, but I think she wanted to throw me off the cliff, but that's a totally different story. Joe, let's pop somebody else up.
All right. I feel sorry for this guy because it's like 6 a.m. right now.
Oh.
Good morning.
Joe, take the end of the night logo off Libby's beautiful face.
It's okay.
And Libby, introduce Kevin and tell everybody how he was involved in the film.
Kevin Yost. He's the
Yay.
man behind the music. He's the man behind the movement.
Hey, Kevin, where are you tonight?
I've been living in Athens, Greece.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome. And what time is it there?
It's like 5:30.
Oh, that's a team player right there. Now, Kevin, I see that you're set up in front of like a synth or a keyboard or something.
Yeah.
You want to play us something?
I don't have. I could, but I don't really have it.
How about act? Just act.
I am acting.
Scott, can you play something while he acts like he's playing something?
Well, he actually plays better than me. I can't even play that.
Wow, Kevin, it's amazing how you throw your music.
That can't be true. Yeah. The music in the film is just stellar. It really is. It's just film is two things: sound and vision, and the music is so wonderfully atmospheric.
Thank you so much. It was. The first film that they did was really my first attempt into doing music for film. So yeah, I love doing anything, being part of anything they're part of. So,
Kevin, I hear are you a fan of Brad Fiedel at all? Because you have a very similar style in the way you score films, or is it totally coincidental?
I would imagine totally coincidental. What's the name again?
Brad Fiedel.
No, I'll definitely look him up now.
Yes, you guys are very, very similar in vibes. Is there anybody who you as you were growing up that you idolized as far as a composer of film music?
Well, of course, growing up, John Williams. But people like James Horner, and there's so many. But I really got into more the not like the big blockbuster kind of film scores, more like the independent, drama-like films. So that kind of became like my what I like to do music for.
Brad Fiedel was known for Fright Night, and he did Child's Play, and he did The Terminator. It's very, and he did one of David Lynch's film, Wild at Heart, which is kind of the vibe I got on this movie. Well, a little bit of a Wild at Heart vibe.
I'm definitely gonna check it out, and I appreciate that.
No, you did a wonderful, wonderful job. The music sets up the rich atmosphere of the film. The film is. I told Libby when I came out and we saw it on the big screen at the premiere. She was sitting behind me, and I turned around and I said, "You know, you nailed it. It's a wonderful, wonderful film." And I think the first thing I said to her is, it's just so rich in atmosphere, and it has such a cool David Lynch feel. And what makes movies come together, especially independent films, are when all of those pieces come together and make something special. Mr. Ridgely, is there somebody else we could pop up? I don't want to leave everybody.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Susie, you're not going to like me right now.
You can take me out. That's fine.
By the way, Susie.
So much for the surprise.
By the way, Susie, it was lovely seeing you. Thank you for watching the show. And next time in Waynesboro, I would love to have a burger and a beer with you.
That sounds awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks. Have fun.
Thank you, Susie.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is, because, nobody's going to be last here on David Lee Madison's The End of the Night. I'm going to pull up 3 people.
Sweet.
And are you ready?
I am ready. And Libby, I would like you to do the honor of introducing everybody and telling us what performance they portrayed in the film.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to pull all 3 of them up. Unfortunately,
All right,
I
I'll
still
do
have to
my
do
best.
them one at a time, but I am pulling them all up.
Yeah.
Yay!
Thank you guys so much for showing up. Let's start here. Jeff Leinbach plays Jeff.
Nice.
It was a stretch.
Mallory, she actually plays a girl in the 70s scene. So it doesn't really have a title, but she definitely made one of my dreams come true by showing up, being there. And I wanted her to be a part of this experience and just to even like let everybody know what it's, some people worked on the movie for many years, and then, she came in for one day, and I, she's just part of this dream for me. And then Emily, she worked with me for definitely 5 solid years. And then there's like a year before that where we just talked about it.
Yeah.
Well, I have a very, very fair question for you, Libby.
Yes.
Where did you find such unbelievably beautiful women in Waynesboro?
There goes our Waynesboro audience.
Some people call, I don't know. We work production around here for like a decade. Matt has known Emily since she was a baby. He worked with her father. So, but we met her in high school, when she was in high school, and she was awesome. I remember hearing her voice for the first time, and during this huge shoot where I couldn't control the crowd, and it was a high school. They often get out of control. They don't. You're trying to get a picture of them, and they don't want you to get the picture. So they want it to take as long as possible, and you have like 5 minutes to get it. And out of nowhere, Emily, I hear her, all right, just gathering the people and giving direction. And I was just like, who is that girl? I love her. And then we just ran into her over and over again. Through the years, we had to shoot every activity that she did. And she's just a beautiful person, beautiful family. And she has just been on the whole road, driving the whole road.
Absolutely. Well, okay. Mallory, in the beginning of the movie, you're in, I would say the first 5 minutes or so. Is that a fair assessment? And it's one of my favorite parts of the movie, believe it or not, in that it has a very, very, it's kind of like if David Lynch met the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It has a very, very, very atmospheric feeling, a very 70s vibe. Is that a fair thing to say? And
Definitely.
and you, was this the first film you were in, Mallory? Because you seemed really, really, first off, extremely professional, and you seemed very, very relaxed, and you just looked great on camera.
Thank you. Yes. I had my friend refer me to Libby, and I was on it like immediately when I showed up. I've always been really curious about the film scene, and I knew that this was my moment to see and try everything out. And everything was directed perfectly. Everybody was comfortable. You know, they kind of showed me the ropes, and I think I really enjoyed every aspect of it.
So this was the first time you were in a film?
Yes.
You would never notice because you actually had great film presence and you were very, very natural. It was just wonderful. Do you want to continue making movies?
Yes, definitely. There was another project, a friend of mine, Matt Burns, he was doing another thing before COVID hit, and we were supposed to do something like in March, but you know, COVID kind of stopped the roll of that. And if Libby ever has anything else, I'm more than welcome to come. You know that.
I'm sure that she's not going to lose your number because you were fantastic. Jeff, I know you now for many a moon. And this gentleman, just to show what a great guy he is. I was in I had a very, very small part, literally like, I think I'm in the movie for 35 seconds, in a John Ritter movie called Hero at Large. And Jeff knows that it holds a special place in my heart because it's the first thing I ever did. And it was when I was just a little boy. I played a little boy who went up to John Ritter's character and asked for his autograph because he plays a superhero within the movie. And to make a long story short, Jeff knew that was the first movie I ever appeared in. And Jeff came across the actual theatrical poster of Hero at Large, and out of nowhere, it just showed up at my house. I want to thank you, Jeff. That's one of the nicest and kindest things a person has done for me in a long time. And it just goes to show what a great human being you are. I remember I met you at a show at a college. I think it was Wilson College. It's probably going back close to 10 years now, oddly enough. I think that was around 2012 or 13. Yeah.
That's when we met. Joe.
Yeah. And
that's when I met Joe.
And it's just been, we've been talking ever since. You're just a great guy. Jeff, tell us a little bit about how you got involved. And it was awesome because we actually got to act together in the scene at the City Hall together.
Some of my favorite stuff, along with Scott Schiaffo.
Yep.
I had been in a theater group and became friends with one wonderful Mr. Jim Krut, who is seriously my life mentor, who I thank for every wonderful opportunity that I get, because he's just been a great friend. And we'd probably been friends for 6-7 months, and Jim revealed to me, hey, you like movies? By the way, I was in one, which turns out to be one of my favorite horror movies. And through Jim, got to going to some conventions. And as you said, the Wilson College convention, while not well attended, is where I met both you and Libby and Matt, and I picked up both of your films. And I love independent film. I love the storytelling, but a lot of times there's some piece missing to just give it that polish. And I was very fortunate that both of your films had every element all together. It had the sound, it had the cinematography, the story, the score, and looked like complete professional movies. And I was drawn to it. And through Jim, kept in touch with all of you. And Libby and Matt were very gracious enough to consider me when they had an opening, and that's how I got involved. And just really great friends. I feel very blessed to be a part of this group.
Well, and I could tell if any friend of Jim Krut, because Jim Krut, I mean, that guy can't do any wrong. I know he's sitting right there, but he's one of the kindest, most generous performers I ever met, with both his time and with his knowledge. I've been blessed to have worked with many, many known people and a lot of people who have done a lot of things. And I would be hard pressed to find anybody who was kinder and more fair with their time and their knowledge than Mr. Krut. You're just a legend. Emily, you're not getting off that easy. It's now I torture you.
Oh no.
Yeah, you had essentially the female lead part. You had a lot of heavy lifting in that film. Was this your first? Performance on film?
Yes, it was.
Oh wow! Both you and Mallory did unbelievable job. Emily, I'm actually quite shocked. Did you have a background in like high school of doing stage performances or something?
Yeah, so I'm not a Waynesboro girl. I'm a Fairfield girl. So please hold the jokes. But yeah, so we didn't have any middle school theater. So I actually studied at Eichelberger for a while in Hanover, and then they shut down. So then I had the high school plays and musicals, and I had just done that. And Libby and Matt, Libby kind of touched on how we've known each other for a long time, and we met again in high school.
I saw a lot of those plays.
Yes. So I do have a decent background in theater.
I mean, you could clearly tell because you have a wonderful screen presence.
Thank you.
Your performance is top notch. It could have been in any. You could have been interchangeable in any top Hollywood horror film. I mean, that's how good all of you guys were, and that's why the film plays so well. So it was a really wonderful performance. Mr. Jaffa, I'm doing all the talking, and you're the mayor, man. I mean,
well, it's to make a comment on the acting. Everybody really comes across 100% genuine, and for everybody or a majority of people who are on camera to have been newcomers and not be deers in the headlights, but the opposite, which is, see, I respect all acting. I respect theater acting very much. It's an amazing thing. But film acting is all about subtlety, and the slightest nuance can be picked up by that camera. The camera knows a liar, so to speak. And everybody, especially in that 70s, the opening, which to me, that first bunch of, the first, whatever is 8 to 10 minutes, for me, there's not even, I could go and go and go because it's so, you become enraptured in that, and you get set up for what's going to be a very stylistic film that doesn't beat you over the head with style. And to do that on a tight budget with people who are first time up to the plate really is an amazing thing. The accomplishment of it all. Emily, you did a wonderful job, and I'm hearing Libby throwing around 5 years. It was literally 5 years of filming.
Yes. We started in 15, and we shot a bunch of stuff in 15, and then we had to wait until the next summer. Once life happens, a bunch of stuff just kind of gets in the way, and things start spinning as soon as you start shooting. And actually, when we started in 15, I hadn't even found one of my main cast members. So we shot some things with some of the cast members that I had. And then we were able to piece that together even once I cast that person the next year. But 5 years.
Well, you
4 years, I guess, till 2015 to 2019.
Mayor Scruggs hasn't had a haircut since
love it.
that shoot. And I used to joke with you that I'm not going to get my haircut until the film is released. And then I just went and I got into a thing now where I'm just letting it go. Then, of course, COVID. But the Scruggs stuff.
I was like, are you still not going to cut it?
Yeah.
Because I'm not done yet.
The Scruggs stuff was 17?
Yes.
And that's another thing. To have that amount of time pass and the film, there's nothing in the film that would ever be telling of that, per se. And people change. I mean, really change in 5 years. It's
right.
Crazy. Oh, yeah. It just looks amazing.
Thank you.
I remember when Scott and I drove from my house in Pennsylvania to pick up Scott in his house in northern Jersey, and we drove out together to Waynesboro to shoot our scenes. And on the way, I mean, we both, I don't think Scott knew you as well as I did, but I was super excited just to see you and Matt again.
Yes.
But we really had no idea about as far as what we were getting into, as far as the film was concerned. Needless to say, we were both super excited when we got there. Everything from our accommodations to our shooting schedule to your professionalism while making the movie were just top notch. And it was just a really, really great experience. And it's weird because you look back and at the time you don't know what you're making, but now with the hindsight of being able to see the film and how it's being received, you could really feel good about the effort that you put into it, because you're a part of something that's going to be around long after we're all gone. Because these quirky little cult movies find their audiences and they're loved for generations, and that's what's really cool about doing a film like this. You could ask Tony Moran, who's signing William Shatner masks 40 years after playing him for 13 seconds in a movie, how sometimes these movies take a life of their own and how wonderful they are. And I know why Jim's laughing, because he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. What's 40-some years since Dawn of the Dead. I wanted to throw something else out here too. Talking about live theater, I'd worked with 2 different theater companies in Pittsburgh for a period of about 6 or 7 years. And there's one thing when you work with a group of people very tightly and repetitively and in different circumstances, different roles, you form a bond. And there's a unity there which somehow conveys itself. It's nothing you can force out, but it happens. The audience knows it. The audience knows if it's there and if it's not there. And the thing is, that can usually take some time. Well, here we were with a film, and very quickly, there was this bond that developed, and that same sort of feeling, in my mind, just sort of permeated the whole production. It's like, whoa, we're all part of something here. And I think that's one of the things that the audience can pick up on too. There's a unity, there's a universe, there's something going on here that's more than just the colors and the people and the music, and all together there's something ultra-dimensional about it.
No, absolutely. And it's a wonderful feeling that when it's like, I think it was kind of the analogy I spoke of earlier of throwing a wonderful party and hoping that you're a part of being invited at least to that party. And that's how I'm thrilled. It's funny because when Libby spoke to me at first to be a part of his movie, I don't know, did you bring up Scott or did I bring up Scott?
You mentioned him. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm dear friends with Scott Schiaffo, which
we had met him a couple of times at a con.
At cons. And I said, hey, do you have a part for Scott? And Libby's like, of course I have a part for Scott Schiaffo. And I called up Scott, and this is what I love about Scott. He, even though he's literally an iconic, in one of the most iconic independent, if not the most iconic independent film of all time, a film that generated comic books and action figures and countless pop culture things. Scott is what's lovely about him is that he's just such a kind and decent human being, and so grounded for somebody who's achieved so much. And he was very, very humble and gracious. And I said, Scott, Libby's fantastic. Matt's wonderful. They're great filmmakers. You want to give these guys a shot? I would love to work with them personally. Do you want to come down with me and we'll do this? And he said, let me see what they have on paper. And I think Libby sent him his part. And Scott read for Mayor Scrubs, and he got back to me and said, this is awesome stuff. Let's go down there. And the rest is history, because we went down and we really, really had a blast. First off, Waynesboro. I was joking about Waynesboro earlier. I actually love Waynesboro. I go down there more times than I should. And we had such a wonderful time. I bought my cool hat down in Waynesboro. That's my. Yes. Everybody says it's too small for my head. But we just had a wonderful time shooting the movie. And it's everything that you want an independent film to be when you're participating in one. It came out to be a nice work of art. B, it was fun, really fun to do, and C, you not only made new friends. Like I didn't know Mallory and Emily and Kevin beforehand, but it was a wonderful to make new friends and to see old ones, and it's everything that you want that experience to be, and that only happens when you have people like Matt and Libby at the top putting it all together, and that's really the why you guys made a wonderful film.
Well, I also want to mention that I had the opportunity to do a good deal of work with Libby before we shot. Her and I had a number of video chats, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, before I had school, we were doing the Skype thing, yo.
Right. I had a zillion questions because, and this is not unlike some other films I've been in, I only had the sides for my character, which is very common. And I was so curious about the rest of the script to sort of get an idea more about this mayor and what's happening around him before and after. So I had a billion questions, and she was awesome and was able to, answer everything. And I told her I had different ideas about the look of the character and whatnot. So we did a lot of work before I even got on the set, which, that's important stuff too. At least for me as an actor, if I get the chance to do that, then it's all the better.
Yeah. When we were filming our scene, especially in the city hall, there was a comfort level there. With Jeff's a fine actor, and I don't recall the gentleman who was in that scene who passed away. What was his name?
Dan Miller.
Dan Miller. He was. I mean, he had a comic timing that I'm not even sure he was aware that he had such good comic timing, but he was really.
That was just him. He was sweet.
Rest his soul. He was a great guy. And the other young lady who was the stenographer, I guess. It was the scene just worked on all levels. It was the whole movie works on all levels, and I'm just very, very proud to be a part of it. And it's available everywhere where streaming movies are, pretty much. Tubi, Amazon, all those places.
I will tell you that I just start with basic needs first. Like I try to make sure that everybody has a place to go to the bathroom. If they need something to eat, we have food, at least something available. Bananas, water, peanuts.
Wheat bread,
wheat pasta, donuts.
No brown M&Ms.
Pizza.
No brown M&Ms.
Not in my trailer. Hey, I have a question for Kevin. Kevin, did you score and cut to frame, or were you creating moods that were going to be layered in at another time?
Basically, I just had everything set out in front of me. I took a small setup down to Matt and Libby's and discussed, what scenes needed, some music or some background. So I normally go about it as just one long track. So
yeah, that was.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, because I know I've done a lot of work with music and film, and I don't always have the opportunity to cut to frame, meaning I could watch the thing in real time as I'm popping down a melody or whatever, as opposed to a lot of people on a really tight budget will just take a handful of mood music that I have and they work it into the film. But because it's just the film, you didn't have to spend a tremendous amount to get everything on the screen to make it really come off like a very well-crafted film. Forget the fact that it was, super tight budget.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much had everything done by the time I could view it, and I think they did a few edits afterwards, but it was nothing too major, and it's a lot of fun to, they're very open about anything I wanted to do, and it was nice to sit there with them and actually go through everything. And I was playing some stuff with with the film to see what they liked. And we kind of went a different direction with the Darkness Waits than the first one, Dead Woman's Hollow. They wanted more of like a synthy kind of less orchestral kind of sound for Darkness Waits. So
yeah, it's incredibly atmospheric. You should, and Kevin, you need to check out the work of Brad Fidel. I think you'd really like him. With that being said, with that being said, our hour is gone like a blink.
Wow.
So, Joe, I would like to pop up everybody. Let's start with Mallory. Mallory, where can people find you? And if they want to follow you on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or anything?
Well, I have my Facebook, so I normally just go by my name on all of my handles.
Awesome. Mallory, I just wanted to say again, you were fantastic in the film. And I can't wait to see you in your next project. You have a great screen presence. You're a wonderful actress, and I actually maybe hopefully someday we could work together. It'd be awesome. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight, Mallory.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mallory.
Thank you for
Good
coming.
seeing you.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.
You too.
Bye.
And let's go to Jeff next. Jeff, where can people?
Yes, sir.
If people would like to follow you, where would we find you?
Facebook is the best place. I list pretty much everything that I'm involved in. I've been playing a lot of bit parts as a police officer in some independent films that are up and coming, and I'll be sure to keep everybody apprised of where they stand.
That's awesome. And I also want to, I know tons of independent filmmakers watch this show. And please, everybody, I want to say wholeheartedly, everybody you've seen on the screen tonight, I would consider for your upcoming film projects. They all bring an enormous amount of talent and charisma, and they are all wonderful additions to any set. Mr. Leinbach, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining us tonight, pal.
Bye, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Libby and Matt.
How about we do Kevin next?
yes.
Kevin.
Yeah, I'm on all the major platforms under my name, but also I set my website up as kind of a hub, so you can, depending on where you want to go. If you go to kevinyost.com, you can see the links to the different social media sites that I'm on.
That's awesome. Kevin, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight. You did an
thank you.
outstanding and wonderful job on the film, and I can't
Thank
wait
you
to
so
see
much.
what you do next. Thank you,
Great.
Kevin.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
joining
much.
us.
See you later.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks.
Emily.
Hello.
Emily, where could people find you, young lady?
So similar to Mallory, I pretty much go by my name. I'm mostly on Facebook. I'm trying to get into Instagram. I'm probably one of the only millennials that's late to the game on that because it's becoming more and more important in acting jobs, believe it or not. So on Instagram, it's just Emily Whitcomb, and same thing with Facebook.
Awesome. Emily, you have future projects coming up?
I do. I'm actually in California right now filming one, so I'm in my hotel room. But yeah, so I just wrapped on something called Vampire and the Vigilante with Michael Paré. And then right now I'm doing a Western with the same director, Renee Perez. So we just finished today, just before I got here, so I'm a little sweaty. So sorry. But yeah, so I just finished those two. And my first Western with Renee Perez is called Righteous Blood. And that'll be out August 3rd. We just heard that today as well. So that'll be available through Sony. So it'll be in like Walmart's and thank you guys. So yeah, just something little, but I just like acting, so I will do anything.
No. Don't undermine it. You're out there really doing it. That's awesome.
No.
Congratulations, Emily. You're
Thank
you're a really great young actress, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for doing our show.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
It was our pleasure.
She was always fearless in everything.
Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Mr. Krut. You know what? I never ever want to say goodbye to Jim Krut. I actually own the house next door. Do you want to move in? You know, because I would love to have, Uncle Jim living next door because he's just like the coolest guy ever.
Jim, that's free security.
Yeah. There's a perimeter around
Real
here.
creepy, however you want to look at it.
I want to thank you for the very kind and gracious comments, David and Scott and Libby and Matt. You guys have just been great, and I think we lift each other up, and I think that's an important thing, not just in film but in life. And the beauty of the film is it's brought us together to be able to do that, and I really am grateful for that. Super grateful for that. I really want to thank you from the bottom of my boogity shoe.
Jim, do you have any? Can you tell people where to follow you?
Stop following me. My website is Helizombie, HELIZOMBIE, helizombie.com, as in helicopter zombie. Plus, you can find me on Facebook under Jim Krut, spelled JIMKRUT.
That is awesome. Do you have any cons lined up, yes, Mr. Krut?
I had three shows scheduled in July, and I've had to back out of them for some personal reasons.
Okay.
And there was a film we were going to work on in June that has been bumped into next year. So we're going to see how things go.
Always a smart move. As always, Mr. Krut, thank you for joining us tonight. You're always welcome on the end of the night, and I hope to see you soon, my friend.
Thank you so very much for having me. It's always a pleasure. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Hi, Jim.
Now, there was a question for Matt and Libby from Carrie. Are you guys working on any projects now?
Not for ourselves, but at the end of this month, in 2 weeks, we will be in Staten Island, New York, shooting Scott Meany's holiday spectacular
Puppet Madness holiday.
Spectacular.
Puppet Madness. It's going to be madness.
So yes, I'll be
that's
shooting
great.
that.
Oh man, thank you for mentioning that.
And we are also, Scott Schiaffo is also working on that.
Doing some music.
It'll be the first time I've worked with puppets, so I'm excited about that.
Puppets
Well,
are
you
more
worked with Dave
temperamental than
before.
actors.
Puppets are going to take over the world.
Yeah.
But I
Mr.
think
Ridgely.
I always have things in the back of my mind that I'm trying to do. But, this year's been tricky. The last couple of years actually have been tricky. So, but we're excited, to see things opening back up and things are happening. So,
Also at the end of July in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania, we will be part of A Nightmare on Main Street. It's a horror con film festival. We're doing a double feature of Dead Woman's Hollow and Darkness Waits.
Awesome. What date is that?
July. I believe it's the last weekend in July.
I got a question for Matt, though. Are you actually excited about that?
Ding!
we try to stay just, just level, just even. We like to just stay right.
The guy's got to smile occasionally.
I've got my mushrooms.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Matt, because somebody reached out to me about that screening, and I had no details about it. So, very good.
Sadly, I think you and I are going to be at New York Comic Con that Saturday, Scott.
I think you're correct.
If it's the 28th.
Yes,
I think it's the last weekend of the month. Yeah.
Sorry, Libby.
See, I envisioned last year this time that I would be chasing both of you across the United States while you were doing all the films, and I'd be like, and he's in this one too. He's in this one too. They're in this one.
If you guys could keep June 26th open, look at your calendar. I want to talk to you off camera about something, but if you can, I would like to invite you to something fun.
Absolutely, David.
All right, so let's give Libby and Matt a close-up. Libby and Matt, tell everybody again where they could find your fantastic film, Darkness Waits.
You can find Darkness Waits on Tubi, Plex, Amazon Prime, Zumo, Binge Horror. I might be forgetting some. It's on most of the major streaming platforms.
But I would suggest, I'm just going to kind of chime in here.
Yep.
Everybody watch it on Tubi because it makes the filmmakers more money.
And we are so completely grateful to Film Hub for what they have done for our movies, just giving us a platform for an audience. It is hard. I mean, like, I've spent so much of my life just trying to make the movies. Trying to get them out there is a whole nother thing. And I like to hide. So I like privacy and everything. So, you know, just trying to get everything out there. They're just giving us a platform and we can see things. That's great to be able to see what your movies are doing, how people are seeing them, what they're seeing them on. It's great.
Yeah, and I mean that's just an unbelievable. That company is just an unbelievable resource for independent filmmakers. What they've done with my films, I'm flabbergasted.
I will chime in and say that for a year, we self-distributed through Amazon, and I can tell anyone out there that yes, you can do that. I know that they're tightening up that now. But you really, if you're out to even make a little bit of money, you might as well.
If you want to take anybody out to eat.
Don't rely on the self-distribution through Amazon Prime.
Amazon is actually cutting the discs this summer.
Yes.
No more discs, no more DVDs, no more CDs, no Blu-ray. It's
I
kind
also
of
saw that they aren't accepting documentaries from independent. Like, you won't be able to submit your own to self-distribute documentaries.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, oddly enough, though, they are still picking up documentaries from places like Film Hub, so it's always good to have an aggregator.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, so
it's been awesome.
Yeah, no, you know, all kidding aside, I mean, I would never ever steer independent filmmakers in the wrong direction. I think you guys would say that's a fair, because I always try to give. I've had nothing but wonderful working relationship with those guys. With that being said, Matt, Libby, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. As you know, I adore you both, and I loved being in Darkness Waits, and I can't wait if you ever have me in a film again. I'll be more than honored to do so. But it was a great experience. It was a fun time, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of it, and thank you for being on the show tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Right, guys.
Thanks for being a part of our dream.
My pleasure. And I also want to thank Susie Stahley for coming on earlier. Oh, there you go. Thank you for coming on. That was awesome to see you too. And you are all the while growing mushrooms. Yes. Mr. Schiaffo.
Yes.
Is there anything that you would like to impart on our lovely audience tonight before we part ways?
Oh, just my heartfelt thank you to everybody who supports my madness and everything I'm a part of. You know where to find me. It's pretty easy to find me on social media. Everything's by my name. And I'm looking forward to the fact that things are starting to get a little better out there, a little more normal. I'm going for my second shot soon. I suggest people stay safe. And just thank you all for being there. I couldn't do what I do without the folks who support it and without my wonderful partner, Jewel Carey. Check out Jewel Carey's record. That's a plug. Jewel Carey, Little Did I Think. Run over to Amazon and grab it before they stop making CDs.
I will say that that's a great CD. You know, I'm a big fan of that CD.
And I want to thank you for that because you really were a very genuine supporter of that record. And you've used some of the tracks in your films. And I can speak for Carrie. I know she really appreciates it, as do I. That's honestly some of the best rock music I ever had the pleasure to produce in the studio. That's how I met her. It's really a beautiful story.
Yes, and it's a great record. Mr. Ridgely, anything on your mind tonight before we part ways?
Absolutely. Everybody that is joining us tonight, please go to David Lee Madison's The End of the Night Facebook page. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Also, Tech Defects on YouTube. That is where all David Lee Madison's The End of the Night shows are going to be archived. So please help support us just by a simple like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. And let's give your beautiful wife and daughter's company business a little plug again, because they really deserve it. One thing, can I make a suggestion to them?
Sure.
Can they get the plastic bases that the melts could go into? Because when you're done and you want to switch melts, you have nowhere to put them back.
I think their thought was that you're going to burn the same one for a few days and then.
Oh, okay, I got you. What the hell do I know?
Great.
That's a great suggestion, though.
You just had your first FAQ.
The only reason I ask is because I like to change scents like every 2 days. I don't want to throw it out if it still has oomph to it.
That is
that's what actually separates their product from all the rest. All honesty, is that the staying power of their scents are absolutely amazing, and that's what makes me and my wife's actually going to be making another order soon. That's what makes your customers want to keep coming back, because unlike Scentsy and the home brands and stuff that you get at Walmart and such, you burn them twice and then you're like, yeah, you can check it because the scent's gone away. Your product, you burn for a week and it still smells on day 7 like it does on day 1. You don't want to throw it away. Just a thought. What the hell do I know?
New scents are coming out very shortly also, but thank you very much. It's Hearts of the Mystic Folk. They are on Facebook, Instagram, and the one that I cannot remember, but everything is all natural, and we greatly appreciate everyone's support.
I see Susie says, what is their name again? You just put it up. Susie, all kidding aside, if you have a tart burner and you love, my wife and daughter love having scents, it was use an old ice cube tray. Oh, okay. No, I guess if you put it in the freezer after you put it in an ice cube tray, you'll be able to get it out. Because if you put it in an ice cube tray and then not freeze it, it'll never, you'll have to pick it out with a spoon or something. I don't know.
Thank you, Carrie.
Carrie, you won't be disappointed. They're awesome. With that being said, thank you everybody for joining us for another week of The End of the Night, our lovely little train wreck that we do every week, that we have fun with the people. Silicone molds. Thank you, Luciana. A lovely little train wreck of a show that we have so much fun doing with our friends every week, and our friends being you guys who watch it. Next week, I have another iconic guest. So you know what? I'm not gonna announce it, because I announced one 2 weeks ago, and she didn't realize it was Mother's Day. She's coming on in the first week of June, mind you. But I won't announce it. I will surprise everybody with our big announcement on Tuesday night. We'll announce who our next guest is. If anybody gets a chance, please check out my new film that I did with the lovely Scott Schiaffo and Brian O'Holler and Wits End on the Roku channel and on Tubi TV. But let's give it a run on the Roku channel. I would love to see what kind of response we can get on there. And check it out. With that being said, anything else before I go into my famous last words?
I'm just curious. The Roku channel, do you have it playing live 24/7, or is it VOD?
It's right now it's VOD. If you just go on the Roku channel and you put in Wits End, it'll come up and play for you with commercials built in. You don't pay for it or anything. But it's going to be on one of their sub channels in the coming days, meaning that it'll be on one of their channels that you could watch, Satellite Dish. I'm not familiar with their channel names, but it's on one of those. But you could, if you wanted to watch it right now on Roku, you can go on the Roku channel and where you search, put in Wits End, and it'll come up and it'll play right away for you. It's actually very limited commercials too for one of those platforms. And thank you, Ed. And again, Ed McKeever, great guy. I can't wait for your werewolf picture. You seem to be doing everything right on that, and it just looks like it's going to be a blast. And congratulations on all your hard work. I can't wait to see that movie. With that being said, were you going to say something, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Ken is our Roku guy, man. So anything Roku, we go through Ken.
Thank you, Ken. It was very kind of you. I saw that you promoted Wits End on Roku Rocks, your wonderful group, and I sincerely, wholeheartedly appreciate that. Any kind of traction we can get on Roku would be fantastic. With that being said, I'm talking a million miles an hour. I had a really crazy busy week. If I was not around much for you guys this week, I apologize. I got my daughter's prepping for graduation. We have college stuff going on. I'm finishing up a movie. I'm working on a television show. I'm just literally going all over the place. So I want to apologize.
Yeah, you've got some nerve, mister.
I want to apologize in advance. No, you actually have a full-time job, so you work much harder than I do. With that being said, everybody, we love our audience. Thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, the most important thing in life, no man is a failure who has friends. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you next Sunday.